Welcome back to the CounterCast. How are all you vital idols doing? Damn, we got a packed show. Unfortunately, we have no Cine because the weather decided to say, fuck you and streaming. But you know what? You stuck with me, and that works. Guys, it's going to be a good show. Not only do we have what the internet blew up with over the weekend, and I haven't got to talk about either because I don't do Culture War streams on the weekend. I stopped Friday. I let the weekend rest, do gaming stuff, hang out with SNH, maybe the Sunday special, which there's no Culture War stuff on. And then I let the rest of the weekend we talk about today. And over the weekend, two massive things happened. CDawgVA got just obliterated by real anime fans for being a performative, virtue signaling fucking loser trying to coast off what we've all been saying for years now. And Leaflit was, shocker, attacked by fellow VTubers for being so pro AI. It's wild. And hopefully we'll cover some Fallout news as well. There's so much going on. Can't wait to talk about it. Also, shout out to Hypno for the raid. I saw that come in right as we were going live. Thank you so much, brother. You legend. We'll be doing a gaming stream on the gaming channel tonight. Glitch in Paradise. Me, Hypno, I think Seb will be there. We're going to be playing more Pal World. So let's get into it. Let's see who we got up in this bitch. Anthony Way is here. Shout out. A kick in the nuts. Saint Hugo. What is up, my man with the plan? Coach O'Dragon. Ty Zanos is here. The Runaway Vagabond. We got to talk about how you talk on X, bro. We got to talk about the way you just out there. Like, I thought Kato was bad. You just out there foot hunting like a goddamn goblin, bro. Disgusting, son. Shout out Vagabond. Who else we got? Honey Maui coming in with the big army raid. A true Aztec warrior. Lord Dragneel is here. Shout out Dragneel. Yamato. Sleeping Nova. Shout out to Sleeping Nova. Clip 420. Matthew O'Brien is here. Edmund Weber up in this bitch. Rabnad Shubla. Mr. Melancholy. Yo, Future, the IRL bestie Paul. And you went back to your tried and true classic Laughing Man profile picture. This is the profile picture you had when I met you like 12 years ago or however long the fuck ago it was. Like that's crazy, dog. Going back to that classic standalone complex. Oh, the memories. Dragon is here. Shout out to you. Oh, Raza, what is up, Raza? Draconic up in this bitch. You'll love to see it. Is there anybody I'm missing? Jita is here. Tiger King, Monkey Man, what is up? Watari is here. Yeah, see, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. You got to stop it, you sicko. Sinsoka, what is up, Sinsoka? All right, crew. I said hi to all y'all bitches. Let's just get right into it. Let's start with story numero uno for the day. I'm sure you guys saw this if you're on X and you're part of the anime scene. I have done at least one video and one stream about this clown already. CDawgVA is one of the most performative, virtue signaling. I don't want to say grifter. I don't think that what he's doing is grifting, because grifting means, like you've got it's selling a lie, basically trying to make money on a lie. And I think he believes this shit. The problem is he's speaking out both sides of his mouth. Fuck, am I on the wrong mic? There we go. There we go. I was on the wrong mic. Dude, StreamYard sucks, man. StreamYard always trying to change your settings and everything. Runaway Vagabond with a 5-banger. I'll be sending Kata. I find all the time. Wait, I'll be sending Kata feet. I find all the time. He never shares. Yo, now, all right. You know what? Since you say that, there's literally only one clip I can give you that will work with this. And the fact that this even exists is so just heartbreaking.
Y'all can clip me all you want. I think Alyssa Mercante has a nice ass, but I guarantee you she doesn't shave her armpits. So I'm good.
Shout out. Thank you for the 5-banger, homie. Aztec, thank you for the $1 due. Appreciate you. Alrighty. And I thought it was my speaker has been fading the last 5 minutes. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. Again, StreamYard changes your settings and doesn't tell you. It happens to all of us. StreamYard sucks, but we're good now. Anyway, alrighty, let's try this again. CDawgVA, I've covered him before. In fact, he's one of like the top 10 videos on my channel is covering this dude. And I don't think he's a grifter. I don't. Because grifter means you're selling a lie. I think he believes this shit. The thing is, he's speaking out both sides of his mouth because even if he believes it, he doesn't hold any true opinions. And now he wants to get into the good graces of the anti-censorship crew after clamoring for censorship in anime for years. Let's check it out.
This clip is currently going viral right now in the anime and manga community, and a lot of people are having animosity towards this clip, anger, people discussing censorship, people discussing why anime and manga is being advocated to be banned, and people also talking about how there's been a rise of people saying that fiction is very problematic. So let's play this clip, and then let's discuss why people are actually upset with it.
And before we play this clip, I just need to remind you guys that this dude, what he is about to say, keep in mind that 6, 8 months ago, I don't remember how long ago it was, someone put a lolly statue on the trash taste table in front of him, and the other two dudes, Joey and I forget the other guy's name, like, because they're anime fans. And whether you like them or not is irrelevant. I'm not exactly a fan of trash taste, but Joey is at least a real anime fan. Giguk, that was Giguk, he is as well. Connor outright said until meeting these guys and being part of like the Japanese YouTube crew, he was never an anime guy. He was a voice actor, but he did voice acting for like commercials and audiobooks. He didn't get into anime until really hanging around these guys. And so when they put this lolly statue, this lolly action figure on the table in front of him, he did this performative freak out, basically equating it to pedophilia, talking about how disgusting it is. Well, listen to him now.
Younger people and audiences, older people too, have been like, they're like not brainwashed, but like fucking coached into like seeing things that are problematic and thinking like, what is this?
Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna say something, but I'll wait. I'll wait till the clip is played before I actually say my piece here, because I think it's very important, the entire context.
This is not a reflection of me or my character. It's like, bro, you played a game. It's like, if I played Sino Uta, this doesn't mean I'm a fan. I'm a #1 like stan of Uta. I love everything about it. It's like,
yeah.
For those that don't know, Sayano Uta is a visual novel game. It's
Here we go. This is the sort of thing that for the last several years he has been clamoring to have censored. What, now he's openly saying he's a fan of the game? He's played the game? Then why are you, when the camera's on, because we all know that these people don't believe that. Like, there's some that do, right? There are obviously some people that are so brain broken, they want their anime and their manga and their video games censored because for whatever reason, they can't tell the difference between pictures and real fucking humans. I'm not even gonna say children, because a lot of these times they're not children. They're just drawn, petite or whatnot, because they can't tell the difference between art and reality. They're so brain broken, they want that censorship. But let's be real. Most of these people only say it for performative outrage points on the internet when you know good goddamn well they're playing this shit when the camera's off.
It's a good one. It's really good, but there's a lot of screwed up stuff in it. Like, if you have ever played Sayano Uta, which I played it back in like 2011, it's been a long time. Okay, I don't remember every single detail of it, but there is a lot of dark content within Sayano Uta, and there's a lot of things that you're just not going to straight up agree with. But at the same time,
guess what? There's a lot of dark content in Berserk as well. There's a lot like, hey, I like Berserk. Doesn't mean that I'm a fan of rape, but it's in the fucking manga and it's in the anime. Why? Because it's kind of necessary to the story and to the characters. Like, that's how most people's brain works. Oh, it's a story. Oh, it's fake. It's fictional. Obviously, that doesn't mean you agree with it. So why on God's green earth would you be asking for it to be censored if you're openly saying, well, yeah, I don't live my life by these rules, but it's good for the story. But that's the type of performative outrage that these people peddle.
Very thought-provoking story. And I think what Connor is trying to say here is just because if you like, let's say, the game of Sayano Uta and you play the game doesn't necessarily mean you agree with every single thing that happens within it, even if you're a mega fan of it. But let's continue the clip.
Experience the story that was on offer. Yeah. And I think people are afraid to jump or be seen playing games like this because they're like, it's like, bro, that is not even remotely close to the truth. And when you boil down conversations like that of discussing media like this, you are absolutely robbing any nuance and any way to discuss these things.
You don't get to talk about nuance, homie. You don't get to sit there and talk about nuance when you threw a bitch fit
about a lolly statue being put on the table in front of you while you were streaming. Or while you were recording your podcast, whatever it was. Maybe it wasn't live. The point is, even funnier if they weren't live, because that means they didn't clip that, they didn't cut that, they didn't think, wow, you think that maybe that was a overreaction. And by the way, Giga, Joey, while I believe that they are actually real anime fans, the fact that they don't say anything or trying to stop him when he has those performance freak out moments, be like, dude, what are you doing here? That's some tourist ass behavior. It goes to show that they're complicit in it, in my opinion.
So that is the clip that's going viral right now. And the reason why, if you haven't caught on, is because, for one, this conversation very much is probably one of the biggest conversations for anime, manga, and light novels and gaming in the 2020s. And I think everybody at this point has seen the radical shift in terms of like just how different these communities are in comparison to what they were prior to COVID. And I don't know that I would say there's a radical shift. I would say there's a radical divide. Because, yes, you've got the COVID tourists that came in during the lockdowns. They didn't know what anime was. They only watched Demon Slayer, maybe Attack on Titan, some of like the big shonen that were on Netflix or whatever. And they have this idea in their head of what anime is, which obviously is not the case. Anime is a very, very vast medium. Manga is a very vast medium. Gaming is a very vast medium with all sorts of different things. You can pick stuff you like, stuff you don't, the whole nine. So there's a divide because, yeah, the tourists came in, they have this idea of what anime is, and then they do what tourists are always want to do, which is change it. Then you've got the original individuals, the OG fans, like you, me, all of us here, or at least a lot of you guys, kind of the vast majority of my audience are anime/manga fans, and you're like, yeah, we don't want this to change. We love it for what it is. This is why we like it. And you had people like Connor here, who was one of the ones that wanted things to change. Oh, it would be better. It would be more welcoming. It would be more inclusive if we were just to tone down some of the things that makes anime and manga so intrinsically anime and manga, and so intrinsically Japanese. And now, with the rise of anti-censorship, as it should be, by the way, but with the rise of people actually being vocal and saying, yeah, maybe we want the big titty girls in our anime. Maybe we want the fan service. Maybe we want the blood and the gore and the rape scenes and shit like that because it's fucking fictional. We don't like our stuff being censored. Now that that's become common, people aren't getting, fired from their job and harassed off the internet and whatnot, and they can actually say it, and at the end of the day, it just sort of rolls off their back. Like, yeah, go ahead. Dogpile on me on X. You bought all your likes anyway. Now that people are saying this, now Connor feels safe in admitting what was probably his actual opinion all along, which is, I don't like seeing this stuff fucked with. But he wasn't going to say that because, oh man, my credibility is on the line. Our sponsorships are on the line. The way that my leftist Hassan Piker fan base is looking at me, because we've had Hassan on the show multiple times. They're here. They're watching me. I have to be a good little boy for the camera. Well, now what I would assume would be the truth comes out. Or even worse, maybe this isn't the truth. Maybe he's saying this now because, just like when I cover it, or when Espiritu covers it, or when Chibi covers it, it's the popular thing to say. Briefly touched upon this in the past, and I feel like it's time I really sit down and do a full-blown dedicated video to really discussing actually who is causing these problems and everything. But the reason why this clip is going viral, and also why people are upset that Connor from Trash Taste is the one saying this, is because of this clip that has become very viral as well over the years and constantly reappears here and there, and it's basically Connor's reaction to a figure, an anime figure. And I'm going to play the clip. I'll let you see it. I'm just going to, let you see what Connor says and how he reacts to an anime figure, fictional content. And then this is being compared to his new statement, and people are calling out the hypocrisy. But let me just...
I can judge.
What the fuck?
Ladies and gentlemen, that I shout out Aramanga Sensei just for gone.
There we go. Let's get a good look at this right here.
Ladies and gentlemen, that I shout out Aramanga Sensei.
No, it's what the fuck? Oh man, so big. This is such a problem. This is so problematic. It's just a fucking cute anime girl in some skimpy clothes. Not even really that skimpy, actually. By anime standards, not that skimpy. Like compare this right here. Compare this figure. So my girl Maureen from My Dress Up Darling, right? Like this is way more revealing. Now, mind you, again, My Dress Up Darling, great anime. Fucking great anime. But that figure ain't nowhere near as revealing as this, right? The dude is so bitch made, but again, performative. I don't think he actually held that opinion. When he says, what the fuck, I don't think he actually, or again, maybe he does, which would make it worse. But this is just outrage for the camera because he needs to be seen as the good guy.
Just forgot. Everybody, round of applause. Well done, Joey. Well done. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you, Joey.
Are we going to prison?
Even though I saw about 10 Eromanga Sensei figures along the way.
Why is there so many?
I don't know. I don't know. It's popular enough, I guess. It's actually not too bad, to be honest with you. I'm not exactly a fan of Eromanga Sensei, but this is actually a pretty solid.
I think you'd have the FBI knocking if you said you were.
Well, I mean, God should be.
See, again, I've covered this clip before. If you guys, it's on my channel. You guys can watch the video. But the idea, him perpetuating bullshit like that, because we're talking about this is the most basic normie entry-level podcast for any, quote-unquote anime fan or whatnot, is Trash Taste. I don't know, but I'm pretty sure they are the most popular, the biggest anime-themed podcasts on the internet. So when you've got somebody who is part of the largest anime podcast, in the entire platform, saying things like, oh, if you're a fan of this anime, you're gonna have the FBI knocking at your door. Then to pivot years later, be like, well, no, I don't want censorship. It's just a story. Why can't people just enjoy it? You'll wonder why the internet's been calling your ass out all weekend.
Used to that by now.
So I think you understand. The very person that Connor is calling out within this clip that is now going viral is basically himself. Now, okay, I'm going to be completely blunt here. I don't actively watch Trash Taste continuously. I watch a few things here and there, but it's not a podcast I actively follow. I'm just going to be completely blunt. And to be completely honest here, I do like, for instance, like Joey and stuff on them.
I like Joey as well. Or at least I used to. I used to like Joey a lot. I used to, and you know what? Paul, Future in the chat can confirm this. He and I used to sit down on the couch, watch Joey videos all the fucking time. We watched early CDawg videos as well, like before he actually joined the Trash Taste crew. But yeah, Joey was great, and he might still be. I still every now and again from time to time check up on him, watch his videos, but he does a whole lot less anime now, and it's just like Japanese culture in general. Still interesting, but by the same token, it's not why I was sub to you. Kind of like Eric July. Like, I like Eric July. I was watching him for years, but I was watching him for his libertarian politics and his anarcho-capitalist takes and whatnot. Not really for his comics. So when he pivoted to the comic stuff, I stopped watching less. I stopped watching just in general. I don't really care. No shade to him, but that's not why I was sub to your channel. So I've watched, and me and Cinny on like Neon Leon have covered a couple of Joey videos that are relatively recent, and he seems like he's mostly on the relatively base side of anime. He did make a video calling out the concept of tourism. He was talking about some anti-censorship stuff. Joey's kind of this weird mixed bag, but overall, I would definitely say I don't know much about Giguk. I'm gonna be real. I don't know much about Giguk at all. I've seen a handful of his videos my entire life. But Joey seems to be your average real deal anime fan. Connor, on the other hand, is a tourist. I don't know which way he leans. He's a tourist, either trying to placate people on the right wing now, or the anti-censorship side or whatnot, or he's a tourist and that he was never an anime fan. He's just using it for the Trash Taste grift. Or hey, maybe he's talked about how he wasn't an anime fan, except for JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. That was like the one anime he'd watched. To be fair, great anime. Love me some JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. If that's what it took to get you to watch other stuff, and maybe he actually really does enjoy anime now, and he's grown to love it over the years he's been on YouTube and stuff. That's totally possible. That being said, if you do love it, if you are what you claim, if you're going to be on these anime podcasts, and then you're going to talk about how, the FBI is going to be knocking your door if you're a fan of that, well, then you're not a fan of anime, all right? You're not a fan of anime. You're a fan of the community and the culture around it, because that's what brings in the dollary dues.
I love, Giguk and all that. I love the individuals that are on Trash Taste. I have talked with them in the past. They're pretty good dudes. They've been nice to me.
That's cool.
But I also am someone that will not sugarcoat things, and I will be completely blunt about how I feel about stuff. And in this case, Connor in general, even if at the time period when he made this a few years back, let's say he is just memeing around and he isn't being truthful. However, his words from a massive voice like him, he's a massive content creator, way more successful than me. His voice echoes out, and there is a lot of people around this time period, especially, that were basically saying the exact same words as he's saying. Any form of content, let's say Eromanga Sensei, Nagatoro, anything that is not mainstream shonen, for instance, like JJK, Chainsaw Man and stuff, or Demon Slayer, it is deemed problematic. And in this case, his very reaction, even if it's being played up for the memes and engagement, it paints a very big picture of he is doing the very thing that he is complaining about in this new viral clip from 2026 that is now like everybody's talking about, because he is someone that is basically breaking down all nuance and everything, someone that is basically saying fictional content is very problematic and all that, you can't engage with it in any way. And sure, we might say maybe this is a very different type of conversation because that's a figure and he's just talking about a visual novel, but the point here is that
I don't see how it would be a different type of conversation at all. Whether it's a visual novel or whether it's a figure, I mean, they both effectively serve the same purpose. You visually enjoy it. You take the figure out the box, you put it up on your shelf, you admire it. It looks nice. Got me a whole lot of figures over here, right? This top row, all the badass dudes of anime, plus Billy Idol, and this bottom row, all the hot chicks in anime, plus a Fallout girl there in the background. The point is, they're there to be visually admired, which is the same thing as a visual novel. It's a semi-interactive video game that tells a story that you visually admire. So I don't see how the conversation would be different in any way, shape, or form. Yeah, it's my nuance, my media literacy.
He is boiling down conversations and joy of fictional content and just saying everything is basically problematic media. And, that's what he did in the past. But now he's saying it's a problem. And he doesn't understand why it is a problem. And I'm just like, bro, Connor, man, I have no hate towards you. But you are legitimately, you're talking about yourself. You are. But, even if we want to disregard that, okay, let's just say that this is not an example that matters, okay? What we do need to point out here is that the real issues and who is actually causing these problems, I'm just going to say it. The real people that are causing these issues are
mostly leftists. Mostly the white liberal bitch that thinks that anime needs to become more inclusive to include all the people that have had the door shut on them for so long. And when I say leftists, this is an interesting thing because traditional leftism has actually always been anti-censorship itself. It's this rise of new modern leftism. Basically, let's be real, commies. It's the goddamn communists. But this is one of those rare things where actual individuals on the left and people on the right are more or less aligned because censorship of any overarching body, be it government, be it corporate, is a bad thing, and it's giving us less of what we love. Really no different than getting rid of physical media for PlayStation, for example, right? This is something that's such a universal thing. Most people of the average opinion are going to agree on this. Hey, yeah, maybe you vote Democrat, right? Maybe you're I like free healthcare and high taxes and whatnot. Well, first of all, I think you're an idiot. But you know what? There's a debate to be had there. There is not a debate to be had with these commie bastards that think, oh, these anime figures, having anime figures like this is tantamount to pedophilia. So yeah, when Connor is talking about himself, which he absolutely is, you got to ask, does he have the self-awareness? Does he know? Does he realize? Have his opinions actually matured and nuanced? Or is he doing it now because, well, now it's safe to say? Oh, now the sponsors aren't going to drop you for having an opinion like this.
Are pretty much crazy leftists, the same people that ruined gaming, ruined Western media. And I know that this is going to upset a lot of people, but honestly, I don't care. I don't care if it makes people upset and all that. The point is that everybody knows, everybody sees it. It's just people are too scared to actually say it because they feel like they're going to get canceled or they're going to be spammed with hate and slander. And to be honest with you, I get slander and hate all the time, so I don't really care. I really don't. I'm just going to say it like it is because other people are too afraid to say it. The point,
and honestly, first of all, same, feel you, Chibi. But also, I don't think that Connor can do that. When he said, when they brought Hamas, Osama bin Laden, Epstein, dog sucker, fucker, piker on the show, and he had his big meltdown. Oh, I don't know why everybody freaked out about it. I guess we didn't know there was such a crusade against Hassan because we don't live on Twitter. It's because you can't. I feel like Connor, probably too weak a dude to be on X because any little criticism of him will send him spiraling. He lives and needs the adoration of the individuals that watch him. Y'all know how many viewers I've lost because while live I've said, go fuck yourself, you're an idiot, you're wrong, fuck off. Guess what? Don't cost me a goddamn thing to not have you as a viewer anymore. I don't care because I'm not going to placate my own beliefs, my own morals, my own ethics, the whole nine, just to appease the audience. I don't think Connor's like that, and not in the slightest. I think he's freaks out. And again, I'm just guessing. I don't know, Connor. But the behavior seems to be that of the type of individual who can't live terminally online because any bit of criticism will make him spiral.
Is that, yes, it is crazy left-leaning people that come into the space and want to change things and have a problem with any form of problematic media. Basically, when anime started getting extremely popular in the 2020s, a lot of people from, for instance, the West that really like certain media that's been catering to them for the last decade, they tried to dive in and fundamentally change anime and manga. We know this. I have talked about this in pretty much dozens upon dozens of videos. They are individuals that have come in to basically call anything that is from Japan problematic media. It's the truth. It is. Now, I'm not saying that this is just radical leftists or leftists that do this. There is people on the right that I've seen.
He is correct. I do see this mentality from a lot of motherfuckers on the right. Again, Matt Walsh, whether he was being sarcastic when he said or not, Matt Walsh still said anime is satanic. And you had a bunch of right-leaning motherfuckers in the comments section underneath them claiming the exact same thing. Oh, they're not going to watch anime. Pokemon. Dude, I went to a small... I grew up in the Midwest. You live in a small town, right? We had... So at one point, I lived in a town that had barely over 1,000 people. Before that, it was a slightly bigger town. We had 7,000 people. Bro, they banned Yu-Gi-Oh! Because that shit was satanic. You couldn't wear Halloween costumes at school on Halloween in elementary school because that shit was satanic. Like, yeah, I've been there. I get it. El Murdoch with the two-banger. God, I hate these LA streamers, LARPing little shits. But they're not LA streamers. That's the thing. They're in Japan. That's what makes this even worse. They're in Japan actively trying to change the culture. I say they. Joey, not so much. Joey, he speaks the language. In fact, he speaks the language fluently. He's also part Japanese. Pretty sure Joey's mom is Japanese. He speaks the language fluently. He is invested in the culture. He wants Japan to stay as it is. It's so wild that he's friends with Connor, which is the antithesis to everything that Joey talks about and stands for. Evan coming in, sadly, I suspect the freak out is more honest than his current take. I don't know. I don't know which is more honest, and that's a problem. If you're going to be an internet figure, if you're going to be a sense of authority or whatever on the internet, you got to have authenticity. And at what point did Connor lose his authenticity? Because when I see him speaking out two sides of his mouth like this, you have to wonder what one was the real take. Shout out, thank you for the 5-banger. I believe he said this because media he like go a to get. I don't know what you mean, Murbaugh. Sorry, bro. I believe he said this because media he liked. Oh, because media he liked got attacked. He said this because media he liked got attacked. You're probably right. And in fact, there's a lot of people like that. Oh, they're pro censorship. It doesn't matter. Like, hey, what's wrong? Oh, you want to see the child that looks like a 6-year-old, the character that looks like a 6-year-old? You want to see its feet? You fucking pedo, because it's an anime or a manga or a video game or whatever that they don't like. But then it comes with something they like, and all of a sudden they hop on that anti-censorship train. You're probably correct. El Murbaugh with a 5-banger and says, I wouldn't hate COVID colonizers. They learn what I learned growing up. Don't like ignore it, but no, we must change it all. Yeah, COVID colonizers are they are who were to blame, at least partially, for the state that anime is in right now. Thank you for the 5-banger.
Radical Christians, radical right-leaning people that do the exact same thing, that want pro-censorship. Both sides are inherently an issue. But I'm just saying, in terms of the overwhelming, there is one side that does have an overwhelming monopoly of calling everything problematic. And it is definitely those
the LA scene. He was originally in the UK. I don't think Connor ever streamed from America. I could be wrong, and someone in the chat, if you guys know, correct me, but I'm pretty sure he went from the UK to Japan. There was no LA scene. I'm pretty sure.
Individuals that I've already spoken about. And so here's the thing. It's a lot of people. There's a lot more nuance to this conversation, I think, that I should talk about. Because obviously I'm boiling it down to just people from one political side. But I feel like I need to start from the very beginning on kind of...
Well, the reason we're boiling it down to people from one political side is because, yes, while it happens on both sides, it's overwhelming on one more so than the other. Yeah, you got Matt Walsh say dumb shit. Yeah, you got Jack Prosobic say dumb shit. But guess what? Matt Walsh, Jack Prosobic, they're dumb shits. They're going to say dumb shit. But in all reality, the individuals of a right-leaning persuasion, whether they be content creators, whether they be average regular folk like you guys, me, the whole nine, if you're more right-leaning, odds are you're more pro freedom of expression because you don't want overarching powers, whether they be government, corporate, otherwise, telling people how to live their lives, which includes with the creation of the media. And the leftists overwhelmingly want to meddle in that. So yes, while both sides do it, if it's a 70-30 issue, you need to mostly attack the 70. Yeah, don't take your eye off the 30, but mostly attack the 70.
Where this happened. And I know, because I've been in the community basically since the early 2000s. Now, obviously, there's people that have decades over me on top of that, but I feel like as someone that has seen kind of the rise of anime over the years, I can definitely put a good origin point, a turning point to where the anime fully went mainstream. And that was 100% Demon Slayer. Now, anime was already rising in popularity thanks to SAO and Attack on Titan. I'm not going to act like it wasn't, but it didn't really like hit a massive, overwhelming mainstream audience until Demon Slayer exploded all over the internet. TikTok, Instagram.
This is one of my biggest disagreements with Chibi. One of my I am of the belief that anime was already gaining mainstream success, gaining, mind you, with the advent of Toonami in the late 90s and early 2000s. Then Naruto hits the scene. Naruto becomes the biggest thing ever. But really, I think anime hit true mainstream status with AOT. And I agree, by the way, AOT is overhyped. I don't like AOT. I think AOT fucking sucks. Season 1 was all right, and it's just all downhill from there. Yeah, I remember pre-Toonami, as do I. Yeah, Toonami, Adult Swim. That was when it was gaining mainstreamification. It was not COVID that made it mainstream. It was not COVID colonizers are not what made anime mainstream. They're what put the divide within a community. But Attack on Titan, roughly the 2012 era, that's what made it mainstream. When Netflix in around like 2010, 2012 said, we're going to start specifically catering to anime. Like they put out this whole press conference. If you're Netflix and you're the biggest streamer in the world and you're publicly saying we're going to be investing way more into anime between 2010 and 2012, at that point, yeah, that's mainstream.
Twitter, YouTube, Reddit, Facebook, it was everywhere. I remember the day it happened. It was trending and it was very new and brand new for an anime to do that. Nowadays, you can see anime trending all the time, but for its time period, Demon Slayer was something super unique. It trended for days for one specific episode, and that was not normal. It wasn't for that time period at all. And so when it started to trend, it exploded conversation. And then a few months later, COVID hit. And obviously, at this time period, a lot of people that probably heard about Demon Slayer through word of mouth or memes or whatever decided to sit down and watch the show. And obviously, they
didn't. They decided to get on TikTok and watch edits. That's what it is. They decided to get on TikTok and watch edits of the show and think they understood what anime was. I'll remember with the two-banger. I also blame TikTok during. See? I just said it, did I not? I just said it. Shout out. Thank you for the two-banger, homie.
They liked it because it was fundamentally different than everything else that they experienced from Western media. Go figure. But the thing here is that a lot of people that would have never engaged with, for instance, anime or manga, it finally engaged with anime and manga. Now, I'm not saying every individual that came into the community.
Yeah, there we go. Netflix invested $7 billion into anime production, distribution, things like that. This is pre-COVID. We're talking like 2012 when Netflix did this. You don't invest $7 billion into something if it's not already mainstream enough to where you think you can, make money off of a $7 billion investment.
Was bad actors that want to change everything and label everything problematic. However, there is a lot of people that, for instance, are more or less the bullies that used to bully you for anime. Someone that would throw you in the locker if you would have mentioned that you like Dragon Ball in the early 2000s. Those individuals decided to jump into the anime community, and they are now.
It's funny he used Dragon Ball as the example because it was literally Dragon Ball. That's why it happened to me in 6th grade.
The anime community.
Shout out Mr. Clark, 6th grade social studies teacher, for not letting me out of the locker.
Infiltrating it like parasites, and basically they will only accept the mainstream, and anything beyond that is problematic media. They will think anything needs to be basically, you need to be bullied and beat down if you like anything that's outside of like JJK, Chainsaw Man, and Demon Slayer. For instance, if you like something like that is considered technically normie anime, Food Wars and Nagatoro, you are problematic. You are a weirdo that needs to be gelled. Even Arrow Manga Sensei, that, we saw Connor's reaction to, Arrow Manga Sensei is normie. It is really, really freaking normie. Like, in the 2010s, everybody would agree with me that Arrow Manga Sensei is an extremely normie series. It's nothing revolutionary. It's nothing too extreme or anything like that. But apparently, in this day and age, in the 2020s, something like that is considered very, very extreme.
And that is the sanitization of our media, and worse than that, our community. Like the sanitization that you can take something, again, like Dragon Ball, something as normie friendly as you can get. Not Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball, you know, the one that has far more comedy to it. You got Bulma showing her pussy and stuff like that for jokes, and Roshi getting his nosebleeds. The fact that that is attacked by the modern day leftist discourse on the internet, something that was done as a comedy gag in 1986. And you want to compare Dragon Ball to the shit that we like? Let's leave off the extreme shit. Let's just talk about Dragon Ball compared to what we're getting nowadays, bro. It is sad. Don't forget, Crunchyroll, being the bitch-made homos they are, completely discontinued, or maybe it was Funimation. I don't remember, maybe it was Funimation. Either way, discontinued their dub after one episode of Interspecies Reviewers. God, Interspecies Reviewers ain't even that bad. Interspecies Reviewers ain't even that extreme, bro. You goddamn kidding me. The sanitization of I was going to say our culture. It's not even our culture. Right? It's Japan's culture, and we are fans of it. We are privileged enough to get to experience it because, frankly, they make a lot of money off weebs like us. But that's neither here nor there. Fact of the matter is, they are bending their culture for us and, frankly, for the infected leftist youth within their own country. And we're about with a 5-banger. Something I want to ask a fellow veteran otaku. Do you think if streaming never snatched up anime, it'd be different or just take longer? I would say take longer. I think this would still happen because politics are not downstream from culture. Culture is downstream from politics. Regardless of streaming, this is the politics would have always ended up here. So downstream, it would have happened to anime, but I do think it would have taken longer. And in fact, about a 5-banger, I would argue that you're right about AOT era made a mainstream push. The Demon Slayer era brought out the LARPers. You see it exactly. That Demon Slayer era brought out the LARPers. Fucking exactly. And then thank you for the correction, Vagabond. Funimation with Interspecies Reviewers before they were bought with Crunchyroll. That's why I started saying Crunchyroll. I was like, I think I'm wrong. I got my timelines mixed up. I appreciate the correction. Thank you. So thank you, Vagabond, and thank you, Merval, for the donos.
So what I'm saying is that a lot of people, a lot of bullies and stuff got into the media and they started to basically LARP as anime fans. That's pretty much what it is. So yeah, I feel like the reason why we have that, there's a lot of sensitive people that like to have everything sanitized and boiled down because it's just too problematic for them. And it's those same people that ruined gaming in Western media. So my camera...
I remember when Nux did that. Like that was, again, ask Future. As for the chat, he and I are OG Nux fans. We were watching Nux when he was a PNG tuber, when he was doing like biggest flexes in anime. Like that was, we are OG Nux fans. I absolutely remember when he said to flood my anime list to rate Interspecies Reviewers a 10. Nah, what good times.
Just died, but I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you so much for watching my content. May all of you be safe, stay healthy, and I love you guys. Chibi out.
Love to see it. Excellent video. Dropping it in the comments for you guys. At the end of the day, Connor's getting dogged on. Connor's getting absolutely clowned on. I mean, shit, I'm a fucking nobody. In my post about Connor, let me see if I can find it. How well did my post about Connor do? Let's see. Let's scroll through here real quick. Because I'm a nobody on X. There we go. Yeah, I'm sitting at 806 likes, 90 retweets, almost 8,000 views on my nobody account. Like right now, well, I don't know if it's still going on, but a couple days ago, that was the cheat code to get interaction on X, dude. That was the cheat code to just talk shit on Connor after that video went viral. And at the end of the day, I don't think there's any saving him or not saving him. That sounds weird, but like there is no way for him to save face. That's a better way to put it at this point. No matter what he says, he's going to be looked at as a tourist by one side or the other. If he actually does go this route of, hey guys, it's a story. It's just a game. It's just an anime. It's just a manga, whatever. Enjoy it for what it is or choose something else. If he goes that route, well, then all those people that he was performing for prior to this are going to now come out with their torches and pitchforks. Oh, Joey, you were the chosen one. You were one of us. We don't want to see lollies in our anime because that's pedophile stuff, even though, ironically enough, leftists are so often fucking pedophiles. That's neither here nor there. Or he can, turns out this is a grift and he actually does still care about the censorship and it wasn't performative at all, and he wants to change the culture of Japan. Well, yeah, he's the same enemy he's always been. So there is no winning. There's no way for him to save face. Obviously, this is not going to impact trash taste at all. They're still going to get their views. They're still going to get their sponsors. They're still going to get that bag. But at the end of the day, it's just another a reminder of where the discourse is going. Now that it is safe to say the opinions that people like you and me have always been saying, now these tourists and these LARPers are going to be having those opinions and pretend it's profound thought or pretend that they always felt this way. Let's see. That was some classic Nux shit. Agreed. Let's see. Hopping over to Kick. Check. Okay, cool. Kick is doing good. Shout out to all y'all over on Kick. I appreciate you. I like Nux as an Escanor fan. Another seizures weekend. Damn, I hope you're all right, dude. I hope you're all right. That sounds awful. You drunk and high right now? I don't know if that's good or bad for seizures, but fair enough. All righty. So that was segment numero uno. Glad we got to talk about that. It's always fun to dunk on Connor. Leaflet's cooked, guys. Leaflet's cooked. There's no coming back from this, bro. There is no coming back from this.
Hey, what's up, guys? Riff here. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about the Leaflit situation, or as Asmongold would say, the Leafit situation. But this is someone who I'm sure most of you are aware of. We have a very overlapping audience. But it comes to me with a very heavy heart that things have gone too far. That's right, Leaflit has gone too far, and I'm going to join the countless ankle-biting, 100-follower, virtue-signaling V-tweeters who are currently attacking her to the point of trending on Twitter.
I loved he says the 100 followers. Like, look, I won't lie. I'm not above follow watching, right? I'm not above follow. It's kind of like pocket watching. People always like, oh, well, you know, you're getting those donos, right? You're getting people to send you money on stream. You're a grifter. You're only saying this shit to get donos. People pocket watch, right? Which is fucking retarded. Brian against follow watching. I see some people out here attacking Leaflit or attacking, Asmongold or attacking me or attacking Hypno, whoever it may be, right? I see people that go out there and criticize successful content creators. And I was like, oh, your tweet's blowing up. Let's just see how many followers you have. Oh, there it is. You have 100 followers. You're doing this for the engagement. You're doing it for the engagement. You want to be Leaflit so goddamn bad. All you gotta say is AI bad. Think of the trees and bingo, bango, bongo. 10,000 likes. Too bad nobody's actually following you because you bought those likes.
Why, you ask? Why such a big shakeup, Rev? Well, I want to be on the right side of history. That's right. Because all the good people, the self-proclaimed good people, are very mad at Leaflit for reasons that'll be very obvious in just a second. So what did Leaflit do in this situation? Well, she has provided means to make VTubing more accessible. Yes, that...
Not just more accessible. Let's talk about this. Not just more accessible. Free. She has provided a means, or will be providing a means, because I don't think the program is finished yet, to make being a VTuber, basically through AI, effectively free. And that's the real irony, ain't it? That's the real fucking irony, ain't it? All these commies that hate based Queen of the Chuds Leaflit, anime award for most racist VTuber. These commie bastards who want everything for free are upsetty spaghetti that Leaflet's giving out shit for free. Oh, you can't make it up.
That is her irredeemable crime. Now, this comes in the context of a very loud debate in the VTubing scene about AI. And people, as we've seen, are virtue signaling about this. It's mostly nobody VTubers and VTweeters who have very strong opinions about this subject, basically saying you're not a VTuber, you're not a content creator, and you're even a terrible person for ever using AI. Now, Leaflit, who has used AI to produce some very funny content, music videos, etc., came out with something very useful, a very useful tool. And if it's not obvious already, I'm being very facetious when I say I'm canceling or disavowing Leaflit, okay? But she says this, I'm making a...
I'm more about the two-banger. The anti who won't art a model. I don't know what you mean won't art a model, but either way, thanks for the two-banger, homie.
Program that is a bridge between PNG tubing and live 2D. It's called.
Now, I was watching Leaflit stream when she debuted this. We raided into Leaflit after the stream while she was debuting this tech, and I was watching, and it's super cool. It's also super janky, admittedly. Like you could tell it's in early development. It's a bit janky, but the idea is awesome. And for it being something she did, I think she said during that stream that she started working on it overnight after her stream. So the fact that she accomplished all that just overnight, it works well for what it is. And Banana Juju started using it. A few other big name VTubers, like just to show it off. She made it in 3 days. That's what she made it in 3 days. Either way, the point is, it was a super quick turnaround development time. It works well for what it is. I think it'll obviously only get better. But the fact of the matter, look, you get what you pay for. And that's how the world works. You get what you pay for. This is a free program. Whether it's a little janky or not is irrelevant, because guess what? A lot of motherfuckers start out with janky setups until they've got the means and the resources to get even better. Go look at my old content. The mic that I was on at the beginning of this, when I was on the wrong mic because StreamYard fucking sucks, that's the OG mic that I used when I first started. My audio quality was dog shit. My camera quality was dog shit. My setup in terms of, like my border, and it didn't even show a chat back in the day. There was no scrolling chat. Like, this all looked terrible when I first started. Everyone's setup is janky at the beginning. So if she's giving out a free resource so that people can get started, great. You start getting followers. You start getting donos. You start upgrading. Maybe you get a real, or maybe you want to stick with this because you like this AI. The point is, she's out here providing something for a niche market, or where there is a market for it. She's providing the resources, and people hate her for that. Talking about anti-AI artists, no VTube model for us. Oh, gotcha. I see. All right, thank you, homie. Appreciate the two-banger.
Called Adventurer. You can make a model in less than 30 minutes and add new emotes in less than 5. And she presented this video showing off the software, and this is a really great thing. For those who don't know, PNG tubing is when you literally have a PNG still image while you're waiting to get a 2D live VTuber model, okay? That's kind of the entry point for a lot of people before they get into VTubing. But Leaflit, free of charge and by her own efforts, is providing...
Free of charge, like one of y'all said in chat. She is better at being a commie than the commies. That's hilarious.
A tool to bridge that gap. And a lot of people are very appreciative of this. Banana Juju saying, Leaf working her magic and changing VTubing forever. We love to see it. I am nothing but amazed of everything she has accomplished so far. Here's another one saying, man, if I had this when I was PNG tubing, the system I came up with used OBS hotkeys and a ton of animated GIFs I paid for. This looks way more user-friendly. Here's another one saying, Leaflit really...
And mind you, Leaflit got every reason to do this, because it's twofold, right? For one, Leaflit's passionate about VTubing. Say what you want about, her political takes, she a judge, she a racist. Even the fucking Leaflit haters cannot, at least in good conscience, cannot honestly say that Leaflit is not care about VTubing as an art form, as a medium, the whole nine. Like, she loves the culture, loves the content. So she's out here, A, providing resources for people because she loves it so much, and B, she's got personal incentive to do this because it's a dunk on the haters. It's a dunk on every performative outrage and anti-AI account on the internet that, let's be real, is not anti-AI. Or if they are, it's because they don't understand it. Because you know what? If you're anti-AI, there's a million other things in the world you should be anti. Insert thing here about not just generative AI. You got these people. Oh, it's bad for the environment. Yeah. You put that on X using a cell phone that has with cobalt in the battery. Those cobalt farms have little black boys fucking digging their bare hands into the mines to get the cobalt out. I imagine that's probably not good for the environment. That's not very good for humanitarianism. Yet you're making that tweet, that post, that V tweet from your goddamn cell phone. Get out of here with your selective outrage, you lying performative bastard.
Is a creator of the people. First, she makes a TTRPG Angel Sword for free, and it gets constant updates. Now she is making this for free. If this is what Quangos mean when they say someone is a grifter,
what up, Mike?
we
How you
need
doing,
more
homie?
grifters. I cannot wait to try it. And here's another one saying, Leaf out here casually destroying the VGen Mafia. She's releasing it for free. Riggers, as in VTuber riggers, are quaking.
I love anyone that talks about VTubing has to really enunciate the R in riggers. Otherwise, like, people are terrified. YouTube gonna just smite them down if it comes out wrong.
Right now. And yes, they were. To the point of Leaflit trending on Twitter. And of course, when a VTuber, a problematic one like Leaflit, is trending, it brings out the Quangos, as mentioned in the previous post, who are here to virtue signal. But I want to start with this post from Leaflit showing a screenshot that really encapsulates this entire debate. One person mad at Leaflit, quoting her, saying, "More AI in the VTuber space, a big slap in the face to customizable model makers, asset makers, riggers, artists, etc." And then in the related Discover More tab that was attached underneath, that same VTuber says, "I put in a commission request for PNG VTuber on VGen and no word back after a week. Not even a message. Ugh. So I canceled it. I'm upset. It was so cute." And there you have it, right? People are literally trying to virtue signal and cancel Leaflit for providing a free AI-based tool while providing an alternative that they're upset about themselves because it's not working out. At the end of the day, a lot of people would like to work with more artists, but it's very pricey, or they're getting canceled and their request denied because of wrongthink.
There is no group on X. There's no group on X, save for maybe trannies, that are more annoying, that are more fucking annoying than artists. These same fucking artists that bitch and moan, "Oh, comms open. Oh man, nobody's sending me, commissions. Nobody's paying me." Maybe because your art's not that fucking good. Maybe because your art's not that fucking good. You want to make a living in your hippy dippy world being an artist. And you know what? For people that can do it, go for it. Yeah, pursue your passions. If you can make a living doing your passions, absolutely go for it. But if you can't, if it don't work out, that's on you. Maybe you weren't good enough. Maybe you didn't make the best life choices. Maybe you just ain't got the fucking skills. Or maybe you want to cut in line instead of doing it as a hobby or as a side project while you continued your real fucking job. You tried to cut the line and just go straight into doing this for a living. That's not how the real world works. Not for any sort of artistic endeavor. Almost nobody, virtually zero people get to do their artistic endeavors or whatever from the jump and do it full time. It's a very, very rare thing. No, usually it's something you do on the side for the love of the game because you're passionate about it. And once you get to a level where you're well known enough or you're making enough money or whatnot, then you can do it. So these people out here, they're gonna say, "Oh, I've got so many commissions. I just can't get to yours right now." Dude, you're charging an arm and a fucking leg for your high quality art. You're abandoning it. You're not getting back to people. You're canceling commissions after you've agreed to them because, oh, turns out you support Donald Trump. I didn't know that when I accepted your $300 commission. Now that now I know you support Donald Trump, I'm going to cancel this and send the money back. You can't even separate your fucking personal politics from your goddamn job. See, there was a super chat that came in. Let me hit that real quick. I thought there was. Oh, no. Okay. No, oh, no. It was someone's sub. All right, thank you, Shout. Thank you for the sub. I appreciate it.
I've seen so many artists refuse to work with people for their political beliefs or being problematic, what have you. But a tool like that provided by Leaflit gets rid of all of that. It gets rid of the virtue signaling because it's a very real thing. A lot of people want to work with artists, but artists have made it very clear, I won't work with you if you're problematic.
That's insane.
And even if I do, I'm going to charge a lot. So there is this provided, but people are really mad about it. This user says.
So Runway Vagabond makes an interesting point, and you're not wrong, but there's a flip side to this. It says they don't realize folks can use this as a stepping stone until they pay for a 3D model with all the bells and whistles. And that is true. That is objectively true. People can do that. I wouldn't. Here, if I'm doing something via AI art, right? I wasn't gonna pay an artist anyway. I just would have not done it. AI, in terms of like making music videos or VTubing or whatever it is that I'm using the AI for, I'm using it because it's convenient. If I didn't have the convenience factor that was AI, I just wouldn't do it at all. I'm never gonna pay a motherfucker for my thumbnails ever. There's no world. It doesn't matter if I get Asmongold levels of wealthy. There is no world where I'm paying a motherfucker to make my thumbnails. A, because I like doing it. B, because it's a waste of fucking money, at least to me. Now, if I can do it quick, easy, effectively free. I mean, I pay like $50 a month or 30, but whatever the first paid tier of ChatGPT is, I pay for that. Point is, if I can make a gajillion thumbnails a month, videos nearly every day, streams nearly every day. So I'm doing, I would say on average, probably between 50 and 60 thumbnails a month, not including what's on the gaming channel. So maybe more than that, but 50 to 60 thumbnails a month. And I'm doing that for like the $30 a month or whatever it is cost of ChatGPT. Yeah, I was never going to pay an artist to begin with. So it's not even a matter of, oh, you can do this until you have the resources. And again, some people will do that. So I'm not saying that Vagabond is wrong. There are people that will do that. That was what I used Game Pass for back in the day when I used Game Pass. Oh, it's a glorified demo trier. And if I like the game, I'll actually buy the fucking game, like what I did with Hi-Fi Rush. But yeah, there's so many things that if it weren't for the convenience factor, I would just go without. Yo, shout out. Thank you for the follow over on Kick, TTV, Joe BW. Just going to call you Joe.
Anybody saying, wow, this is amazing, needs a history lesson. This is Leaflit. She spent the last year glazing AI for her own pathetic, lifeless projects, and this is no different. The entire thing is AI-based. AI is not a magic wand to VTubing, and that's true. It's not a magic wand. You still have to make content, but if this bridges the gap and allows people to get to a starting point easier, wouldn't that be a good thing? But this person is getting destroyed. 58 likes versus 167 comments. Leaflet saying, Mom Spaghetti. Another comment saying, it clearly is, and this is the worst it's going to be. The next version is going to be better, and then eventually the AI version will be superior to the traditional live 2D. Clearly it is, LOL. I'm going to keep it real with you, Chief. They are bodying you in the comments, and you deserve it. Also, who is this judging others? A 33-year-old he/they with...
And there it is. 134 followers. That's all. Ew, gross. Canadian. Disgusting. I'm sorry. I'm a borrower from Tiger King. I'll have to pay him royalties. I despise Canadians. Yes. 134 follower, nothing account, coasting on trying to use Leaflit's name to get views. Now, to be fair, I'm doing the same thing. And there's a reason I put Leaflit's name in the title of the stream, because Leaflit's name gonna bring in views. People be like, oh, we're talking about Leaflit? Let's go. I've had that happen a gajillion times. I've had people who have no idea who I am. I put Leaflit's name in the title and they come in. I'm doing it too. But the difference is I'm doing it with love towards Leaflit. I'm doing it with reverence. I'm doing it because I think of Leaflit as a very great acquaintance and somebody I very much enjoy talking to, and I want to promote her work. And I think what she's doing is fantastic. So when I coast off Leaflit's name, it's okay.
100 followers. Like, I'm not...
Hey, Hugo, member for 17 months. Shout out. The amount of AI tools in what? Is Comfui, Pinocchio, the amount of AI tools in Kami. I assume maybe that's a program. I'm not sure. Including image to model texturing, and so much more. Far less hardware demanding compared to video generation. Yeah, I only understand about half of that, but if you're making the point I think you're making, I agree. Also, not every type of generative AI uses the same level of resources as others. So, like, even for the people that are like, oh, it's so bad for the environment. Yeah, well, you don't know what you're talking about because there's levels to this shit. So, yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you, homie.
Here to follow shame, but there is definitely a clear pattern where
That's
people
fair,
with no measured success are coming out and attacking people like Leaflit for providing free resources to get your career going. And speaking of career, who is this policing the VTubing scene? Someone with no content. I checked out their Twitch link. No content.
Is anybody shocked? Is it? No, very few people on the internet put in the work Leaflit does. Hypno put in all kinds of work. Hypno a goddamn workhorse. Hypno, Leaflit, shit. That may be it. Like, Leaflit out here, always streaming, always putting videos out. Now, granted, the videos are stream clips and whatnot, but even so, that still takes work. There's still editing to be done there. And she probably has an editor. At this point, she's big enough. She's got, in fact, I know she has an editor. But that doesn't alter the fact that content is being put out. Content for the people to be consumed is being put out. That is still work, right? Like when you're a manager at a job, yeah, you've got lots of responsibilities. So you delegate responsibilities to those under you. So just because she got an editor, that doesn't mean she's not doing the work. She's still delegating the task to what does and doesn't need clipped, what would make good videos, understanding the algorithm, all the work she puts into Angel Sword. Let's not even talk about all the work she puts into the project that is her tabletop RPG game, which again is also free. Yeah, again. Yeah, Hypno is a one-man army, and Leaflit is a one-woman army.
The page is not even there. Like, who is this? But here's another VTuber saying, can we stop bringing AI into every single creative field? The VTubing community is quite literally built on real human art and hundreds of artists' work. Pick up a pen /serious. And of course, they mention VTubing community. There's no such thing as a VTubing community. There's only a VTubing scene. If you're focused on a greater community, which often consists of a bunch of virtue signalers in that related scene, you're already missing the mark. Focus on your own community. Big mistake right here. But this idea of just pick up a pen, well, you know what? Some people are not artists. Some people are looking for alternatives to the traditional sources, and that's what Leaflit is providing. But also, who are you?
See, here's the thing.
Another
no offense, we're an idiot. You say I will always find it lowbrow. Well, if you don't even have the ability to accept the idea that you might be wrong or that there's gaps in your logic, if you are dealing with an absolute of I will always think or feel or whatever blank, meaning no new information could convince you out of it, then you are low IQ. That is some Somalian behavior. AI has turned me into a machine. And you were already a machine. One of the biggest things that slowed me down was waiting on artists and going back and forth with them. AI has allowed me to work at the pace I need to work at. Again, compare Hypno's output from 2 years ago to now. His output hasn't changed. Hypno's output has not changed. In fact, I could argue it might be, if you count Griffcast, the gaming channel, probably technically more output now. But anyway, just look at Hypno's main channel. 2 years ago to now, the output has not changed. However, I would say the efficiency to get that output has absolutely changed.
100-follower person trying to speak on behalf of the quote-unquote VTuber community. But here's another VTuber saying, soulless piece of trash is what I think this is. Even if you excuse the use of generative AI, as in, I can't draw, that's why I'm using it, there is so many custom models you can get for dirt cheap. Well, you know what? There's also this option. And
Twisted Jack, you cannot come up with a good anti-AI argument other than I like thing. All you're saying is, I like thing. Therefore, I don't like other thing. You don't even actually have an argument against AI, which is what, again, makes you low IQ. Big Somalian energy over there.
people are choosing this option over traditional means because it's easier, it's cheaper, and it's more accessible. And then again, you look at the accounts. I mean, the virtue signaling is there. The first thing they want you to know is that they don't support AI, and they has 300 followers. Again, not trying to shame someone for being a low follower account, but like,
I will, because I shame myself for it. If you're gonna be out here trying to grift and trying to get bigger, I say grift ironically, obviously. If you're out there trying to grow, and you're not doing it, it is a failure on you. It's not a failure of the system. YouTube's not shadow banning you. X isn't shadow banning you. people just don't give a fuck what you got to say. And you blame the world instead of blaming yourself because you got no sense of accountability. I don't know if this is a woman or not. It says he, they, then there's a tranny flag. I don't know if this is a fucking woman that thinks it's a guy or a guy that thinks it's a girl. I got no fucking idea. Either way, no accountability.
There's definitely a pattern here. The people so mad about this seem to have one thing in common. And it's that their concept is not proven to be tangibly successful. Here's another one saying, not only is this disrespectful to the VTuber cultural as a whole, but trash like this is why computers and phones are stupid expensive now. Wait a second. You're blaming Leaflit for phones being expensive? You think this entire scenario is the reason why phones are expensive nowadays? I mean, this is like Hassan blaming Israel for everything. Like, really? You're going to blame a problematic VTuber for the price of phones? I think it's a bit of a reach. But of course, Leaflit, as she does with other projects, comes out with a 30-plus minute long
Does
update.
Anybody think that it's ironic that homeboy here is using... Hold on, let me make sure I'm looking at this right. Let me make sure I'm looking at this right. Give me one moment. Because if so, this is fucking funny. All right, go to channel. Twisted Jack is using, you know, the George Costanza memes have been going around. He's using the George Costanza as Ed Norton from American History X, which is funny as fuck, by the way. That was made with AI. His profile picture is made with AI. The fucking irony, dog. That's hilarious.
To her system, improving things and providing more resources for people. And of course, the usual suspects are still very upset. You have this VTuber rigger here saying, I hate this. There are hundreds of free VTuber models and assets out there made by artists. You don't need to use AI to be a VTuber. Well, that's your opinion. And of course, well, people chose a different route than you. And of course, you hate this so much, and yet in the replies, you promote your own Twitch channel. Like, you hate this situation so much, but you can't help but try to promote yourself in the replies. And it's always funny to see the reply from the original poster getting 8 likes on 2,200 views. Like, no one actually cares about the actual content.
Bro, this right here is the Yorsh torch of VTubing and rigging. The Yorsh torch of rigging right here says something. Nobody cares, moves on.
And supporting it. It's more about getting likes for the virtue signal post. No one cares about the follow through.
The burning is semi-based on a true story. I've actually seen it. It's good. Well, it's not good, but it's worth the watch.
Or your actual content whatsoever. And of course, this person is angry at a free option to get VTubers going because, well, they are a VTuber rigger themselves. This sort of technology, this sort of tool is literally putting them out of business, and yet they're so mad about it, they're crashing out on people like Leaflit instead of just promoting.
Falling is different. Yeah, if it weren't for double standards, these motherfuckers have no standards at all. I swear to God.
Their own experience, their own portfolio. Like, if you're such a better option and a better route, your work should speak for itself, but clearly they're pretty insecure about that. Here's another quote saying, OMG, it looks uncanny. AI does not belong in the VTuber/art space. Well, that's according to you with 200 followers. Again, not shit.
It's so funny to me. These people will do everything they can to say all the right things to get the followers and whatnot. Once you do that, it's these people have no forethought. If all you're doing is saying the quote unquote right thing to get attention, people aren't going to follow you or subscribe to you or send you super chats or whatever for you. They're doing it because you're saying the thing they like, which means the second you say the thing they don't like, they're going to bounce because they're not there for you. How do people not understand this? The lack of authenticity, the lack of just saying what you... And I'm not saying they don't truly believe this. Maybe they do. But this is part of a larger pattern. When you say when you see all these people like, fuck AI, I hate AI, and they're all parroting exactly the same thing, at what point did you come to that conclusion yourself? At what point is that your opinion? Or what point are you influenced by everybody else? And you're like, oh, well, I'm going to say because it's the popular thing to say, even if I've never put any ounce of thought in it whatsoever.
Claiming just a pattern being recognized. Here's another one saying this is very disturbing. Really? This is very disturbing to you? Anyways, they continue saying, I saw this account being...
I'll tell you what's disturbing to me. Eve, Evan, Exia. What's disturbing to me is that we still haven't seen any arrests for the Epstein files and the global cabal of elites raping children. That's disturbing to me. Now, you do you. If AI VTubers is disturbing to you, fair enough. I'm disturbed by the rape of children by our elected officials. Just saying.
Followed by bigger VTubers and VTube Studio itself, which VTube Studio is the program I'm using right now to live record what I'm using right here, my VTuber model. This is the source basically every VTuber uses, so that's got a sting. And they say, I'm so confused. That account is pro AI? Hello? I thought those VTubers and artists don't support AI. Huh? Well, clearly you don't have much of a pulse on the VTubing scene. And of course, imagine the shock when a lot of the bigger VTubers, including the account running VTube Studio, just doesn't care. At the end of the day, people don't really care if you're using.
We said people don't care. Yes, your average person does not care. I've never heard an argument from an anti-AI individual who can actually substantiate why they're against it in a way that backs up the lifestyle they live. Like if the people that are anti-AI, specifically, generative AI, but AI in general, but generative AI, if you're going to be anti-AI, all right, fair enough. Give me your argument as to why. But then let's look at the way you live your life and let's see if it actually matches up with the thing you claim to believe. More often than not, in fact, every single time, it doesn't. There's always a caveat here or a reason there or anything like it. There's no moral, philosophical, or ethical consistency in their hatred of AI beyond the surface level bullshit that is so easy to debunk.
Using whatever source, people don't really care if you're entertaining and you're providing content. And unfortunately, a lot of people in the VTubing scene.
I'm pro building the data centers. I'm very pro building the data centers. That's why today's Dono Fund, I don't know if you guys saw it. Today's Dono Fund is AI Data Center Fund. So when you that's what you're donating to today. It's the AI Data Center Fund. I'm very pro data center.
They focus way more on what VTubers are saying and what's getting likes rather than the reality. Because the reality is, if you're entertaining, no one really cares. They just want content. And virtue signaling about AI on Twitter is not content people enjoy. But the virtue signaling continues. This person saying, free block lists. Ah, yes. Make sure to alienate yourself from VTubers and virtue signal about this, and also try to block people who are supporting.
I don't know if you're new to the channel, Drew, but I started off as a Magic the Gathering channel. I'm a huge Magic the Gathering fan. I don't care that Wizards is using AI in their art. Wizards has way more issues, like the constant crossovers that destroy the identity that is Magic the Gathering, like virtue signaling to all the leftists by making every goddamn Magic the Gathering planeswalker gay or black or trans or whatever. Those to me are way bigger issues than whether Wizard is using AI or not. If every single set going forward had the art entirely generated by AI, but we could basically wipe every crossover from existence and get rid of all the wokeification of the actual story and lore and characters, I will take every card being AI without a doubt.
This, but clearly you're not too invested because you didn't block Leaflit. You had to make this quote.
That's happening regardless of data centers, homie. Like the existence of the data center does not negate this. The NSA has been monitoring every single phone call you make from a cell phone and probably from a landline as well since the Patriot Act passed. Edward Snowden revealed all this way before data centers and generative AI. So again, this is a performative comment, or it's a comment that you've actually not thought about, because the existence of AI and data centers is irrelevant to the context of mass surveillance.
And interact for what? Attention?
Yes,
I
it
guess.
did have a black Aragorn.
But here's another one saying, if you support this, unfollow me right now, please. There's so many free options, and I myself have been donated customizable models from kind people to start out as a VTuber. You don't need this AI garbage. Well, here's the thing. You got a lucky break. You're literally admitting it, that you got given models for free.
You can't say thanks Obama when talking about the mass surveillance. You can't I'm a OG Obama hater. Obama stands for one big ass mistake, America. But let's be real, this was all Bush era. This was all Bush era, and it goes back even further than that. I mean, I know we're probably just saying thanks Obama for the meme, but I'm clarifying. And now, yeah, I can oppose the methodology. Like, I agree with this statement right here. I am not opposed to AI. I oppose data centers appropriating farmers' land and water. Now that I agree with completely. Just like how the government can come in and basically take your property for any reason. If they want to put a highway that goes through what would have been your property, they have to pay you. But let's be real, you got to get out when the government says, like, I'm 1000% against that as somebody who values the concept of property rights. But I'm against that as a concept, not necessarily because data centers, because again, they could do it for any other industry as well. So the data center part is irrelevant because it's the private property part that is the issue. Evan with a 5-banger. The Grand Wizards of the Coast have done everything in their power to ruin their own IPs, and yet they are the shining example of why get woke, go broke is not a guarantee. Because Witches of the Woke they're worse than Disney. They are arguably the wokest company in existence, and they put record profits for both D&D and Magic the Gathering. So get woke, go broke is not a guarantee, and that's why that's why I don't say it, because Wizards proves that wrong.
So what if you don't get models for free? Maybe you should find a free resource like this.
They do lowball you for
I don't know.
Yes.
But of course you can see if you support this, unfollow me right now.
Neil.
Is anyone actually doing that? Like, seriously, does anyone see this and it's like, oh, geez, I am following this person, but I do support Leaflit's post. I guess I'm going to have to unfollow. It's all for virtue signaling. That's all it is. But here's another one saying, this is insulting to VTubing, as being a VTuber has always involved real artists making amazing models, not slop.
Let's be real. No, it hasn't. Real VTubing has not always involved that shit. Bro, Project Melody was effectively the first VTuber. Project Melody was there to scam you out of money so you could beat your meat to her. That's what VTubing effectively started out, so that you could goon the anime characters in real time. There was nothing artistic about beating your meat to Project Melody. And that's what VTubing effectively came from. Let's not try and twist history that VTubing was always this thing of artistic expression. It was porno. Just like we learned in last night's stream, the internet's for porn. Let's be real.
Up like this. And of course, the same person, when getting bodied in their own replies, says muting this or whatever the other critters say. I know I'm getting bodied or whatever, but you guys in the comments, you do you. If you don't want to learn arts and feel proud of what you've created and just have a...
Really? I heard they pulled in some of their older writers for the next edition because they lost too many of their old audience, and the modern audience didn't feel... Really? I'll need to look into that.
Machine do it for you. Have fun with trying to copyright your VTuber. I don't really think that is something these individuals are too worried about, but it seems like live and let live is not really your stance. I mean, it seems like it's the opposite. You're mad about people using this. You're calling it slop and trying to virtue signal about it. Seems a bit hypocritical. But of course, Leaflit would weigh in on this, saying the reason people are so militantly anti-AI is because it brutally exposes their lack of impetus. No more excuses. The walls are crashing down. One is forced to face the monster of their own inaction and lack of drive.
I used this exact tweet for the thumbnail for this video. I made today's thumbnail by screenshotting this, which was made with AI. So I used AI secondhand for the thumbnail for this stream. And then I also used AI to take that bitch CDawgVA and make him go from happy to crying. I'm a filthy fucking AI user, bro. I get down on my knees and apparently suck the clanka cock. And I said clanka, not clanker. We don't use the hard R around here.
Forced to face the monster of their own inaction and lack of drive. And she adds on this reply saying, you can see when they go mask off that it's all about maintaining the keys to their kingdom, where this user says, because AI removes any meaning or value to talent, it put the most talented and talentless people on equal footing regarding the result. And she says, good. Now, of course, this is a very convoluted subject, and I know it's one that people feel very strongly about, so I'm very interested in what you guys have to say, but I think the pattern of behavior and the outrage...
When you say what AI subs you got, I'm not sure what you mean. I like the clanker's puss.
Here is very recognizable. We've seen this a million times before in the VTubing scene and across content creation, but anyways... That's going to do it for this video. If you enjoyed, please consider giving the video a like, consider subscribing and turning on notifications for daily uploads, as well as multiple streams every week live here on YouTube. But overall, hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll see you next time.
Great video. Yep. What can I say? Leaflit's a terrible person. Leaflit is a terrible, awful person. I actually disavow that I ever collabed with her. I shouldn't have done it. I would like to apologize to my audience about my collab with Leaflit. I didn't know that she was so awful and so terrible that I now feel the need to disavow. In fact, man, I wonder if she'll be streaming when we're finished with this. If she is streaming by the time we finish this stream, we definitely won't raid her. We definitely won't raid Leaflit if she's streaming by the time this stream is finished. D&D, no. I don't do crossovers. Nope. I am vehemently anti-crossover. All righty. We got one more topic. I wanted to talk about it yesterday, but then we got so much fun going down the 2005 internet rabbit hole and teaching Sevi about all the culture she missed. We're going to talk about it now. We're going to talk Fallout. My homeboy sent me this video. My boy Matt from Foul Ball Productions. Make sure you give him a like, follow him. Not that this is his video, just he sent me the video. I can't wait.
All right, let's go back to March 2021. Microsoft just purchased ZeniMax for $7.5 billion. Reports come out that Bethesda is still in charge of their IP, though. Everything has to go through Todd. So 5 years go by. The Fallout TV show is a huge hit. Fallout is just more popular than ever. But 5 years have gone by. And the only way to play new Fallout content is through Fallout 76 updates.
Which, to be fair, as a day one for 76, and it was one of the most disappointing experiences in gaming history for me. Like, my top 3 most disappointing experiences in gaming history are Kingdom Hearts 3, Fallout 76, and No Man's Sky. I was a day oneer for all 3 of those games. Those are the reasons I no longer day one games, or very, very rarely day one games. I will also say Fallout 76, pull to No Man's Sky, pull to Cyberpunk. They fixed it. 76 is great now. It is. I mean, I highly recommend Fallout 76 in the modern day. That being said, no, man, that is my own personal Vietnam. Day one of 76, Kingdom Hearts 3, and No Man's Sky is my own personal Vietnam.
No new game has been greenlit, and Fallout 5 won't come until probably the late 2030s. Now, Xbox has been run by a gamer for over a decade, and things have never been worse. Phil gets replaced by Asha, who is notably not a gamer, and Asha takes a look at Xbox's most popular IP and sees Fallout and Elder Scrolls haven't had a release in 11 and 15 years. You know, real, actual releases. So Asha goes online and sees fans do in fact still love these franchises. And
regardless of your thoughts on the Fallout show, it did numbers, and it drove those numbers into actual sales. Like when Fallout released on Amazon, Fallout 3 New Vegas 76 and 4 sales spiked to the highest they'd ever been. Now, granted, Bethesda heavily discounted them, like heavily. I think you could get all 5 or 4 of those games. Yeah, 3 New Vegas 76 and 4. You get all 4 of those games for $20 total. Like, it may have been less than that, actually. It was either $20 or less. Even so, they sold the most they'd ever. And so you actually had people that were invested in the show went in and bought the games and play. Like, this is the biggest missed opportunity possibly in not even just Bethesda's history, one of the biggest missed opportunities in gaming. Like, this is right up there with the missed opportunity of Sonic Drive-In, like the fast food place, never actually partnering with Sonic the Hedgehog.
Within a couple of months of being in charge, has seen the most obvious move available to them and acted on
I don't play
it. And I
School,
kind of
so
see it like
right
this. At the top, you have Xbox, and then there's Bethesda Game Studios and Obsidian. Bethesda has their IP with Fallout, Elder Scrolls, and Starfield. And then Oblivion has a whole bunch of things going on over there, including 2 mystery projects. Now, of course, the head of Xbox was Phil Spencer. And I think Phil would think to himself, I'm going to go and find out what my developers are doing. So he would come down to Bethesda Game Studios and he would, knock on the door. And of course, Todd would come out and, these guys are good friends. They've known each other for a while. And I imagine Phil would be curious about what's going on with the various projects over at Bethesda. He would ask how Elder Scrolls is going. And I'm sure Todd would lie and say,
Shout out to Evan with a 5-banger. Fallout show has proved that AI slop is a false complaint. The world loves slop. Again, I like the Fallout. I love season 1. I liked season 2. I do think season 2 was a downgrade from season 1 in terms of like pacing and the overall story and whatnot. But I love season 1 and I quite enjoyed season 2. For people that call it slop, fair enough. I'm not here to have a debate about the show. I did way too much debating about the show when it was actually airing. But I will at least agree with your sentiment. People love slop. You're right. People love slop. And we didn't even need Fallout to tell them that, okay? We had the MCU. And let's be real. I'm not talking post-phase 3. Half the movies in phase 2 of the MCU are kind of fucking slop.
They're getting there. Everything's moving along nice and smoothly.
Film clips. I need to give you a clip for that. Hold on a sec. Let's give you a clip.
Plan B! This is for everyone you've killed! Egg-led murderer! Hold your fire! This man isn't black!
Shout out. Thank you so much, homie.
Like, come down here, and then he might just walk past that one, and you'd come over here, and you'd say, well, what's going on with this one, Todd? And Todd would be like, oh, well, that one? Oh, we're doing more with that one than we ever have before. Like, Phil, have you tried Fallout 76 recently? And we can only assume that Phil would be satisfied with this conversation.
Yeah.
He'd be like, oh, I'm so glad you're doing so much with Fallout, Todd. Oh, I can't wait to see Elder Scrolls. I can't wait, Todd. He'd probably get a good whiff of Todd's aura while he's there. And he'd walk his happy ass right back to Xbox and just do nothing. Todd would wipe his brow because he dodged another bullet from what could have been, maybe some management coming down on him. And he'd walk his happy ass back into Bethesda and continue to do nothing as well. But eventually you can't run a business like this, and Phil got tossed out. This is when we got Asha. And while she might look friendly on the outside, I think there's a little something going on in there. Asha does not.
Asha a demon, bro. Asha a demon, and she's the demon Xbox needs. I hate that I'm both supporting a Pajit and a woman in power, but that's how bad Xbox was. Is you got me, the ultimate capitalist, racist, just like every istophobe, sexist, misogynist, to agree with a Pajit woman, because Asha base as fuck, bro.
Like inefficiencies. So when Asha took over Xbox and, she was thinking about what her developers are doing, I imagine she eventually made her way over to Bethesda Game Studios and, knocked on the door. Todd came out and he thought,
that is not true, Lessis. That was
one, right?
False rumor.
Asha started asking questions, hey, Todd, where's the...
I haven't changed, Raza. They changed. It was Xbox who changed.
Where's this one at? Todd probably tried his bullshit answers, which, that may have gotten him somewhere with the Elder Scrolls because they are in production and everything like that.
No, they're not. No, they're not. They're not. They've not been. Dude, they gave us a teaser trailer for Elder Scrolls 6 8 years ago and have gone radio silent since. They were never working on it. They threw that out there at the very last E3 to appease investors. It was never gonna happen, boys.
Sure, Asha was a little bit more understanding when it came to something that they're actively making, at least. But eventually, you have to imagine that Asha came over here and was like, "Well, Todd, I see a lot of people online like this one." And so Todd thought, I've done this a million times. I can dodge this one again. Well, you see, Asha, we're doing more with Fallout than we ever have before. Have you seen 76? And Asha probably turned to him and said, "Yes, Todd, I have seen Fallout 76. It's not your greatest work, I wouldn't say. You know, Todd, we have another studio with a lot of people that have experience with this IP here." And this is where I can only imagine Todd got kind of sad because he.
Now, here's the dealio. I know what it's about to say. At least I think I do. I bet he's going to go in and be like, okay, because the word on the street, it's not even word on the street. I'm pretty sure it was confirmed. I don't think it's rumors anymore. I'm almost positive it was confirmed. Obsidian's making the next Fallout game. Like, she pretty much said, all right, you guys suck. Give it to Obsidian. Here's the deal. I get everybody likes Fallout New Vegas. I like Fallout New Vegas. I don't trust Obsidian. I don't. Obsidian of 2012 is not Obsidian of 2026. Or not 2012. I think it was 2010. Is that when New Vegas came out? 2010? 2010, 2012. Either way. The Obsidian of then is not the Obsidian of now. So, that being said, with Asha out there on her demon arc, bro, maybe she will whip Obsidian into shape and we will get a good Fallout game from them. I don't know. I'm not sure what direction to take this. On the one hand, great, we're getting Fallout. On the other hand, oh, it's Obsidian. Right there in the middle, we got Asha. I don't know.
Knew where things were going. Yeah, Todd, I think we're going to let them,
it was 2010.
let them
Okay,
take a crack at it. And she turned around and she grabbed her Fallout IP, and I imagine she walked right over to Obsidian, where she then looked at some things people like, but it's just she's a numbers kind of girl. It's just probably just not the kind of stuff she's looking at, especially that one. And apparently down here, one of these mystery projects looked a lot like Fallout. Asha probably wondered, what should I do here? I don't think it was really that big of a decision. She just kind of took everything Obsidian was working on and then she took Fallout and she just kind of placed it right there. She called that a job done, turned around and went right back to Xbox. And I just want to point out how...
For those of you that are, I actually have a video on my channel, top 10 locations where the next Fallout should take place. And I break it down as to why and how it will work within the lore and everything. I'm quite proud of the video. It's an older video, but even so. So yeah, again, my editing and scripting and whatnot is not near as good as it is now. And even now, it's not exactly that great. But if you guys are curious about my thoughts and where I would like Fallout to go, like in terms of regionally in America, check out that video.
How poetic this is. I mean, Bethesda was incredibly aggressive in obtaining the Fallout IP from Interplay. And so after over 15 years of Bethesda being in basically sole control of Fallout, it only took a few months of a new boss to just give the IP right back to Obsidian. And I'm not saying that Obsidian literally owns the IP or anything now. I mean, as we can all tell, Xbox clearly owns the IP right now. But I think it's important to realize that Todd does not get to make the decisions on Fallout anymore. And of course, I'm sorry for anybody.
And I'm A-okay with that. And I'm A-okay. Because, again, Todd has been fumbling the bag. Now, to be fair, I don't know if fair is the right word. To acknowledge the truth of the situation, Todd was hands-on with the show. Like, since the Fallout show is canon, whether y'all like it or not, it is. Whether you like it or not, it is. Just like how Disney Star Wars is canon. None of us like it, but factually speaking, it is. Todd was very heavily invested in the show. And that, of course, is going to take attention away from making a game, directing people. But that's not okay. Just because that's the factual reality of it doesn't make it okay, which is what I'm trying to say. Fallout Louisiana, without naming too many things on the list, I do have a Fallout New Orleans on the list. Yeah, Fallout New Orleans is one of the things I think would be great. It's in the top 10 list.
Who was looking forward to Avowed 2, all maybe like 12 of you. But this right here just clearly is the better decision. It's best for business, and it's just what I wanted, so I'm happy for it. And I know you've seen a thumbnail, an article, a full video. I know you know about this. But there is a new Fallout game reportedly coming from Obsidian. Now, of course, reportedly means it's a rumor, so it's like insider info or something.
China is not on the list. Here's the thing. Bethesda said they will never take Fallout outside of America. Ever. No, that Fallout is intrinsically an American franchise, and so the game will always stay in America. Because people have been asking for Fallout China, things like that. Obviously, we have the fan-made Fallout London. But no, so everywhere that I list is within America because Bethesda said they will not take the franchise outside of America. So there was no point in making a list about hypothetical wants and whatnot that will never happen.
But it is important to mention that this is directly from Jason Schreier. The article I'm using at the top is Forbes, and this is from Paul Tassi, but that's just because Bloomberg wants money from me to read their articles. Just for credibility's sake, a few things that Jason has gotten right. He accurately predicted that Fallout 4 was set in Boston in 2013. Of course, it wasn't revealed until 2015 that was true. He also leaked an entire script for Fallout 4's main storyline. He called Xbox closing Arcane, Tango, and other studios before it happened. He was right about 2023 Epic layoffs before it happened. He called The Last of Us Online being shut down, and just among many other things. There are some people that
I don't like that he's giving Jason Schreier's flowers. I know that these are all true, and I know that is like, again, when we want to talk about things factual, you got to be factual. I was just doing that with talking about the Todd Howard stuff. But I hate Jason Schreier so goddamn much, the soy little bitch that he is. This is going to make people who don't know who he is think he's like based and awesome and cool. And no, Jason Schreier is a little impotent bitch.
Some reason don't like Jason. I don't care. He's right about things, and that's what I care about.
Exactly.
Something incredibly important with this news is that Josh Sawyer is reportedly going to be like the project lead of this game. He is, of course, most known for being the project director on Fallout New Vegas. And that just lends a ton of credibility to the project in general. But it doesn't stop with Josh.
I don't think it does. I don't think that lends credibility to the project. Look, I'm a huge R.A. Salvatore fan. I love R.A. Salvatore. Arguably my favorite author. He has written some of the best. First of all, he's written the best books in the D&D pantheon. He has written great books for the Star Wars expanded universe, right? Like he's the one that wrote I'm pretty sure he wrote Mace Windu, Shatterpoint. Like I could be wrong. Either way, he wrote great books in the EU. Point is, he has disavowed his old work. Like R.A. Salvatore is disavowed his old work, saying, "Oh, it was racist. Oh, it was problematic." Just because people that were good then are coming back now does not mean that gives it credibility. Because those people can and likely have changed with the modern times. Now, I want to be proven wrong about this, mind you. But I don't think that alone, just having his name attached, is any sort of credibility.
Gosh, there are actually a lot of people working at Obsidian right now that will assumingly be working on this game because it's basically the only thing Obsidian is doing right now. Of course, one of them is Fergus. He has been there since the start. He was the division director on Fallout 1, and he had 4 different high-level roles for Fallout 2. He was also the CEO of Obsidian during New Vegas. Now, Fergus is more of an executive type role. He is not.
I don't care about Tim Kaine. I never have. Like, people, especially OG Fallout fans, pre-Bethesda Fallout fans, glaze Tim Kaine. Guys, Tim Kaine's all right. He was there. He made Fallout 1, and that's it. Dude left before in the early stages of Fallout 2. He didn't even have anything to do with the second game, which is objectively better than the first, by the way. Fallout 1 does not hold up, by the way. It doesn't. Like, try playing Fallout 1 now. It's not good. Fallout 2 still does hold out because Fallout 2 made so many quality of life changes from Fallout 1. Fallout 2 still holds up very well. But the point is, people need to stop fucking glazing Tim Kaine. He's a nice guy. I like hearing him talk and whatnot. He said some cool things. His YouTube channel's fun. But, like, he left in the early development stages of Fallout 2. He's not like the godfather. I mean, yeah, he's the godfather of Fallout and that he made the first one. But his involvement with the series is so fucking limited. It's barely there. I just don't care about Tim Kaine. And most people who claim they do don't know the history of Tim Kaine and how little he actually did with Fallout.
part of making the games, I don't think. But don't worry, because we have Tim Kaine. Tim Kaine is probably a name that you know. He is the original creator of Fallout. He also has a YouTube channel that you should definitely check out. And for Fallout 1, he was the producer, lead programmer, and original game designer. And he also did original game design for Fallout 2. Now, Tim Kaine notably...
He did a little bit of original game design before leaving. He left the Fallout 2 project within the first few months of it starting. When people give him Fallout 2 credits, yeah, it's out of obligation. Tim Kaine did almost nothing on Fallout 2.
It didn't work on New Vegas, so he is more of an OG Fallout type guy. I mean, the entire thing was his idea to begin with. And also along those lines, we have Leonard Boyarsky. He was the lead artist, art director, and also did original game design for Fallout 1. And he also did original game design for Fallout 2. Now, sort of a fun fact is that Leonard, Tremel Ray Isaac, and George Almond were basically the art team that created Vault Boy and all of the various cards and everything that were in the original Fallout games. And last but certainly not least, we have John Gonzalez, and he was the lead creative designer.
Now, I like how there's a lot of white dudes here, but I'm curious the type of white dudes that are ashamed that they're white dudes. That will tell us so much. Like, are these the white dudes that are ashamed they're white dudes? Or are these the white dudes who are just like, let's make some fucking video games and drink some goddamn Mountain Dew? That's what I want to know.
And writer for New Vegas. He is credited with many characters such as Mr. House, Yes Man, Benny, and many more. There are even more people at Obsidian that worked on the original Fallout games and on Fallout New Vegas. And sadly, we are missing Chris Avallone, who was incredibly important to Fallout 2 and New Vegas. But in spite of that, we still have an amazing Fallout team here. And I really just can't wait to see what they do. Paul Tassie's article goes on to say, it seems like we are entering something of a common sense era for Xbox in terms of many major decisions being made, such as immediately reducing...
Now, I like that statement, right? That we're entering a common sense era for Xbox. Sort of. We're entering a common sense era for Asha. We need to stop giving this credit to Xbox. It's all Asha. We're entering a common sense era for Asha. The thing is, and shit rolls downhill. If Fallout, whatever this new Fallout game from Obsidian is, if it fails because of ideologies, agendas, just not being good, whatever it may be, it's her fault. And I'm not saying this because I want that to happen. I love Fallout. Fallout is amongst my favorite gaming IPs of all time. It is top, if not top 5, it is certainly top 10. But it's probably top 5. Let's see. Sonic, Resident Evil, Zelda. Oh, probably Smash Bros. And probably Fallout. That would probably be my top 5. I have to think about it. Top 3 are definitely Sonic, Resident Evil, Zelda, and then probably Smash Bros. And Fallout. Point is, if this doesn't work for whatever reason, it's Asha's fault because she prioritized this, which she should have done. But is she going to do the follow-up, and is she going to make sure that these dipshits at Obsidian, because we've seen Obsidian's work the last several years, and it ain't fucking good. Nobody gives a damn about Avowed. If she is not like keeping up with them, cracking the whip and being like, hey, make an actual real deal Fallout game. We don't want no politics. We don't want no ideologies. We don't want no softening for the modern day. We don't want no glitches. We don't want no bugs. Almost impossible for both Bethesda and Obsidian. We don't want no jank. We want a polished game out the gate that people will pay $80 fucking for and they'll be happy with. If that happens, awesome. It will be the biggest success story in, or at least one of the biggest success stories in Asha's tenure at Xbox. But if it doesn't work because she doesn't crack the whip on these Obsidian bitches, you don't blame Obsidian. I mean, you can in part because they're the ones that made it, but you blame Asha for not doing her due diligence and making sure they stay on target.
The absurd 50% price hike on Game Pass, which instantly lost the service millions of subscribers. And he goes on to point out why this was so common sense to do. He says Obsidian's Avowed underperformed, yet a sequel was greenlit anyway.
It does not matter if people making games are leftists, guys. Almost all creative endeavors in the history of creative endeavors come from leftists. All your favorite movies from the 80s? Yeah, most of them, almost all of them, 90% made by fucking leftists. It's a matter of whether they can leave it at the door. Fallout. Tim Kaine's been gay his whole life, guys. Tim Kaine was gay in the 90s when he made fucking Fallout, okay? Who gives a shit? Like, I'm all for ragging on woke stuff. Absolutely. I'm all for ragging on woke stuff. But let's not pretend that Tim Kaine wasn't gay then. Fallout's still dope. I care about the product, not the political ideological persuasions of the people making the product. I care if they put that ideology and political persuasion in the game. If not, don't fucking care.
If we check the Steam charts, we can see that it peaked at under 20K, which just isn't where you want to be, with a current player base of about 500. He points out that Obsidian is widely known for New Vegas, and that Bethesda was not slated to release a new mainline.
Being gay does not mean leftist. True, Devil in Red, but being leftist means being gay. Square's a rhombus, and all rhombus is a square.
Fallout entry until well into the 2030s. And of course, the IP is more popular than ever thanks to the Amazon TV show. He goes on to say 2 + 2 = Obsidian should make a new Fallout game. This is probably a decision that should have been made years ago, as this will not come to pass until years from now. Even with Xbox trying to accelerate timelines on AAA games, it's still going to be a years-long wait. Anything less than 3 would be a miracle. The original development cycle on Fallout New Vegas was just 18 months, but that was in 2009.
Except
and
we have things proving otherwise, Kurgan. I can rattle off Sonic the Hedgehog, right? Sonic Frontiers. Ian Flynn, head writer on that. Ian Flynn is leftist as fuck. None of that's in the game. I hate Ian Flynn. Like, Ian Flynn is the most, like, when you think of the prototypical white boy leftist feminist, it is Ian Flynn. But none of that's in Sonic Frontiers. All right? Fucking Amazing Digital Circus by Glitch is done by a tranny. The show is completely apolitical. The show is just an inversion of I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream and the Cain and Abel story. Even though it was made by a tranny, and there might be some like light allusions to it's never addressed in the show. Characters are not made by their fucking gender identities or whatnot. We've got examples of leftists being able to shut the fuck up and just make a thing. So no, I will not. While I think that 90% of them do exactly what you're saying, it is way too early in the development for this new Fallout game to jump to that conclusion. I want information, not conjecture.
15 years later, boy, has the industry changed. And Paul is probably right about this. If I had to do a possible timeline, in 2010, the average dev cycle was about 3 to 4 years for a AAA game. New Vegas famously took 18 months. And that was, of course, using Bethesda's tools, and Obsidian at the time just kind of got shit done. Now, in 2026, the average dev cycle is about 5 to 6 years for a AAA game. So in New Vegas terms, a new Fallout could take maybe 3 years. And to be honest, Obsidian still gets shit done. If there's one thing they can do, it's ship.
Yes, Obsidian gets shit done. It's just shit no one gives a fuck about, like The Outer Worlds or Avowed. But they do get it done. That's true.
A fucking game. The article goes on to say at least one theory as to why Obsidian didn't start on a Fallout title at Xbox was the idea that perhaps Bethesda didn't want that. I want to point out that this is not a theory. Todd has said this multiple times publicly, even if not in those exact words.
I hope you never watched The Matrix then, even though it's a great movie.
One that I remember is in 2018, he did an interview with The Guardian. This was after E3 2018, of course. And these article interviews are always weird. It doesn't really say what the question was. They just kind of go on about how Obsidian made New Vegas and this and that. So I can only assume the question was something like, would you ever let Obsidian make another Fallout game? And Todd's response is, I wouldn't say never. But now that our company is so big, it's always better to keep stuff internal. It becomes less.
Now, mind you, I agree with that philosophy that Todd is saying here. The problem is he doesn't know how to actually fucking make people get games out. I don't like outsourcing unless necessary. And there's times when outsourcing is necessary. I totally get it. That being said, where's Fallout 5, Todd? Where's Fallout 5? We've been waiting on Fallout 5 for almost 10 years. Didn't Fallout 4 come out in 2017? Pretty sure. When did Fallout 4 come out? No, 2015. 2015. It's been 11 years. Where's Fallout fucking 5, Todd? If you want to keep shit internal, I'm good with that. I like it when companies keep shit internal and don't outsource. But you got to actually do some goddamn work, Toddy boy.
Likely, but I could never say never. I thought the Obsidian guys did a fabulous job. And Todd has had some form of this response to this kind of question every single time. Paul goes on to say, but now Bethesda released a somewhat underwhelming Starfield and is staring down the barrel of an Elder Scrolls 6 that will probably not be out until a decade after it was first announced.
Same.
So I never miss an
Fallout 4 was one of the last truly amazing midnight releases I went to. Midnight release. I took the next day off work. I scheduled my vacation time for Fallout 4 like weeks in advance. Got it midnight, played it all night, played it all throughout the day. After like 14 hours of playing it straight with playing the game and doing nothing else. Pause. Me and my homie went and got sushi. Then we came back, played even more. I think we ended up going to bed like 2 a.m. the next day. And I went back to work. And I got home and I kept playing Fallout fucking 4. I've played through Fallout 4 to completion, I think like 4 times. God, I love that fucking game.
Opportunity to rag on Starfield. I just want to point out we're right back down to where we were before that stupid fucking update. Right down to under the 5K players. And when it comes to Elder Scrolls 6 releasing, I mean, IGN has something to say about that. IGN made this article after all of the layoffs that Xbox did recently, and it's titled, "The Elder Scrolls 6 will suffer because of Xbox layoffs." Bethesda staff say, fearing delays, crunch, and generational talent being replaced by contractors. The article goes on to say, speaking on conditions of anonymity, that's such a hard word to say, current and former staff had told me that job losses across Bethesda game studio locations have removed more than 50 employees.
Oh yeah? It doesn't matter. Elder Scrolls 6 will not suffer because of Xbox layoffs, because they weren't doing anything to begin with. You don't show us a teaser 8 years ago. Now, mind you, I don't give a fuck about Elder Scrolls. I've never played an Elder Scrolls game. I never plan on playing an Elder Scrolls game. But just like I'm a Fallout fan, I know there's Elder Scrolls fans. I know there's people that do want a new Elder Scrolls game. But they want a good Elder Scrolls game. But the point is, if you showed a teaser 8 years ago, I remember, I was there. You don't fucking do anything with it for 8 years. Layoffs aren't going to change that because you've had 8 goddamn years. You've had 8 years to be getting shit done. Layoffs now don't fix the 8 years of nothingness that you've not produced up to this point.
Including key high-performing people in the trenches, building the company's long-awaited Skyrim successor. This, in turn, they say, has shattered morale, raised the risk of future development crunch, and increased the likelihood that the game's already far-off completion date will be delayed. Fucking people. They also said we were already running a tight ship and are worried about this.
No, you weren't. You're not running a tight ship if it's taking you 8 years.
Delaying the game. And
you are fucking running one of those flotation devices that the Muslim invaders take to the UK. That's what you're running.
Gotta push back on this a little bit. I know a lot of people always think that like only the executives can be wrong. All of the little guys that work at the studio, they're probably
Twisted, man, you're good, homie, because I couldn't care less. You're giving me engagement right now. It only helps grow the channel. So you do you. Curry on the 5-banger. Ultimately, my biggest red flag is they'll make it like the TV show, and that sucked. The quote from Fallout fans trying to defend the show is sad. I'm a Fallout fan. I love the show. At least I love season 1. Again, I've spent way too much time debating it with other people. It's exhausting and tiring. Pretty much every actual Fallout fan I know enjoyed the show. There's a couple that didn't. Most did. Show was fine. I don't know what people want to say about it. I wouldn't even say it's a red flag, but that's just me.
All just hardworking individuals and blah, 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 blah. And I'm sure that is true a lot of the time, but it isn't true all of the time. And in the case of Bethesda Game Studios, do you really see a company that has increased productivity with more employees? This picture shows just Bethesda Game Studios. This is a graph that has been passed around a lot, and it usually has a bunch of other studios that were helping Bethesda Game Studios, and they would be like layered on top of these other.
How much y'all want to bet?
I've gotten rid of those just to show you Bethesda Game Studios themselves. At the time of releasing Starfield, they were up to about 400 employees at just BGS. When they released Skyrim, they were at about 100. Skyrim came out 3 years after Fallout 3. Are we starting to notice something here? A dev team that is 4 times bigger than it was before is now apparently really struggling to make this fucking game. I'm sure a lot of that comes down to executive management and all of that, but also some people might just fucking suck at their job and they might have to be fired.
Most people, this isn't just the gaming industry, this is in general. Most people suck at their jobs. Have any of y'all ever worked in corporate America? It doesn't matter if you're working at a goddamn Waffle House or working at a goddamn auto parts place or working at a place where you just got to make copies all day like in an office. 90% of the people there are fucking retarded. And if you couldn't find the retarded person, then you were the retarded person who shouldn't have had that fucking job. I've been the retarded person at jobs before. I'm under no delusions. There's definitely been jobs where I was the retarded person. Most people should be fucking fired.
There is something at Bethesda that is incredibly inefficient. It's inefficient and there is like no quality standard whatsoever. They need big changes over at Bethesda, and if this is something that has to happen, it just fucking has to happen. There are more developers who were speaking out, but they were apparently the previous lead quest designer at Bethesda for Fallout 76. And he tweeted, "In unfortunate news, I, along with many of my peers on Fallout 76, have been laid off as a part of the larger Xbox restructuring. Good. I'm proud of my 7 years on the project and my time helping to lead quest design for the game. I have played the entire main quest line of Fallout 76 and even most of the side quests. And I don't think that you were good at your job. Do I feel bad on a human level? Sure. I don't even feel bad on a human level. Why would I feel bad on a human level that your incompetence has cost you? That's what your incompetence has cost you your job. That's how the real world works. Yes, Bethesda needs cleansed with a flamethrower. I agree. Have Bethesda Studios go the way of Kill Annie. And my anime fans, you'll get that reference. It's dark. Want anybody to lose their job. But if you're bad at your job, it's time to get a new job." The article goes on to say it is likely that the studio may not have much leverage to protest something like this these days. Fallout is Xbox's. If it wants Obsidian to make a Fallout game so players can get their hands on one before 2035, it's going to do that. And yeah, that's what's going to happen. It was the common sense move 5 fucking years ago. And it took a former Instacart executive with no gaming experience to step in and within months make that decision. It shows me, and it should show you, that this could have been done from the start. So I do want to mention id Software real fast.
We all know it could have been. That's the thing, is nobody didn't know that. It didn't take Elon Musk walking into Twitter back when it was still Twitter, holding that fucking kitchen sink, firing 80% of the staff, and guess what? Twitter still runs goddamn normally. In fact, I would say I like X far more than I ever did Twitter. I do. I like X so goddamn much more. But it didn't take us being like, oh, look what Elon Musk could do. I guess every other company could do it. No. Go back and look at any of these development companies from the 90s. They had like 20 dudes, and that was a big team. A development team of 20 people was big. You got 400 motherfuckers working on Starfield. I don't need to be in the game industry to know that doesn't work. That level of bureaucracy, that level of bloat, that is fucking insane.
id Software is a legendary team with decades of talent working together. They successfully rebooted Doom to the modern gaming era, and they were the exact thing that Asha wanted. In-house tech shared between studios. id Software did everything right. They made tech shared internally. They shipped profitable games regularly. They even co-developed Bethesda projects, and they did this all with about 185 people. They are now less than 50. The remaining studio put out this statement. They said, "Thank you for all the support this week. While our studio was impacted, those changes were spread across teams. We still have..."
Bethesda's issues, they have been phoning in game design for 2 decades. My attitude is that Bethesda doesn't make games, they make mod platforms. Modding community carries Bethesda. I mean, correct. Hey, catch you later, Draconic. Yes, the modding community absolutely carries Bethesda. I will, and you know this is true because of Starfield. Because nobody even gave a fuck enough about that game to mod it. Starfield, obviously, I mean, hyperbolic, but compared to Fallout and Elder Scrolls, the mod scene for Starfield is effectively non-existent. I actually like the engine that Bethesda builds on. I do. I like the way it plays, like the way it feels, but Bethesda themselves aren't even good enough at working within their own engine as the modders and fans are. Ship holes accumulate barnacles. Companies build up a layer of deadweight employees, and both holes and companies need cleansed regularly. Absolutely agree.
have the crew we need to build the games and tech we're known for. The team today is about the same size we were when making Doom 2016. We have always had a flat studio where everyone is a maker, and we will remain true to that philosophy moving forward. We are focused on supporting each other and the team members impacted. We're going to keep building great games and tech that have defined us for the past 35 years, and we're looking forward to seeing you at QuakeCon this August. And while it's a nice statement and everything, it just doesn't really do it for me. I feel like of all teams at Xbox, id might have been one of the few you should have absolutely left alone. But I guess only time.
No, it shouldn't. Look, id Software puts out good games, but Doom: The Dark Ages didn't sell well. At least it didn't hit the expectations they wanted to hit. That means you got dead weight. That means you're paying people to do a job that's not worth it because there was no return on investment. You're only as good as your last hit. And whether it be the music industry, whether it be the movie industry, whether it be the video game industry, if you're in an entertainment industry, and frankly, other industries as well, but we're talking entertainment. If you're in the entertainment industry, you're only as good as your last hit. The Doom: The Dark Ages, regardless whether you like it or not, regardless whether you think it's good or not. Now, frankly, I own it, but I haven't played it. I'm going to be playing it sometime soon. But man, I'm just loving Power World Expedition 33. Point is, if you are going to be playing or making these games with a big team, moderate sized team, whatever, but there's no return on the investment, well, you're going to have to make some cuts.
We'll tell where that goes. But yeah, thanks for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed. If you want to buy a mug, go to drawnoutstore.com. And yeah, again, I'm not trying to sound mean to people at Bethesda that got laid off. I just don't see any way of moving forward for them without that. Of course, thank you to all the doodles who have signed up, and have a good day.
What a great video. Look, at the end of the day, I'm not confident in the new Fallout game. I want to be. I want Asha to come in, crack the whip on Obsidian, and say, you know what? Here's the game you're going to fucking make. They got a bunch of the OG dudes involved. That's awesome. I love that so many of the OG guys, minus Chris Avellone, are involved. But if they've changed the same way that R.A. Salvatore's changed, or any of these other modern day fucking creators, the people, yeah, you were good 20 fucking years ago. What can you do now? You give us Avowed, right? You gave us the Outer Worlds. Nobody gives a shit. Those games are ass. They don't have any actual real fans. When people think about Obsidian, they're thinking back on it's like being a fan of Def Leppard in 2026. When was the last time Def Leppard released a song that you actually give a fuck about? It was in the 80s and the fucking 90s. Nobody listens to the Def Leppard album released in 2016. I don't even know if there was one, but there was one in 2011 or something. Point is, Def Leppard fans aren't listening to modern Def Leppard. They're listening to the greatest fucking hits. I don't care what you did 20 years ago. I do in that I'll just go back and play what you made 20 years ago. Right. It ain't the Obsidian that made New Vegas. They're bringing back the people that did, to be fair. But have those people changed? If they have, Asha needs to come in. She needs to crack the whip. And if she's not going to do that, the game's still going to fail. That being said, how did R.A. Salvatore change? He went full woke tar like everybody else, disavows a lot of the work he did with the Dritz books, thinks the Dark Elf stuff has racism and homophobia and misogyny and stuff in it. It's fucking retarded. So that's the thing. These classic creators, Steven Spielberg changed. R.A. Salvatore changed. I don't care if they're back unless Asha is going to be good management and crack the whip on them. That being said, we out here like four circles. Let me see who's live. Let's see who we're going to raid. Well, we're definitely going to raid ABF on Kick. We're certainly going to raid ABF on Kick. So my Kick boys, don't go anywhere, because we're going to get a raid going for ABF. And then let's see who is live right now. And shout out to all the new subs during this stream. We got several new subs during this stream. You guys are fucking legends. Let's see. None of us are the same people we were 20 years ago. Why would game creators remain the same? Exactly, Goodwin. Absolutely. All right, who is live? All right, so here's the dealio. ABF is live. I know Nick's show is coming up, though. I'm not seeing him on my list, though. Where's Plot Strikes Back? Why is he not on my list? There it is. Okay. All right. So I am sending you guys on over. We're raiding into our boy Plot Strikes Back. Nick, he's awesome. And then Sevi will be going live soon. Hypno will be going live soon. There's a lot of people you can watch. But we're going to raid into Nick on the kick side. We're raiding my boy ABF. Shout out. Oh, Nick, yeah, Nick is 8:30. Okay, so he pushed it back. Shout out, guys. Thank you so much. We out here at 4 Circles. Appreciate the donos. It means the absolute world to me. I will see you tomorrow. Videos and streams every day. And then tonight on the gaming channel, 11:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. 11:30 p.m. Central Standard Time on the gaming channel. Me, Hypno, and Sevi, at the very least, will be playing Pal World. Maybe more of us, but we'll be playing it. So join me on the gaming channel. Deuces, crew.